Thank you so much for using the TradersGPS. Today I want to just share with you how to use this software. Many investors have the same question. There are actually three questions that most people want to ask. Number one is when do I buy or sell a stock? After I buy a stock, when do I cut loss? And the next thing they want to ask is what to buy. Okay, what are the stocks to buy and sell? And the next one is how much to buy and sell. So when to buy, what to buy, and how much to buy. This software will be able to help you to answer these three questions. First thing is when to buy. Okay, the name TradersGPS, the idea is actually to help you to navigate in the stock market, to tell you exactly when to buy a particular stock. Okay, so let's say, for example, we look at this stock right now, DBS. Okay, we have this stock over here, and at the recent days there were some buy signal to tell you when to buy. So now let me show you how to use this software. First thing first, we have the candlesticks, okay, in terms of blue and red color. Okay, these are the red candlesticks and these are blue candlesticks. The color of the candlesticks indicate the buying and selling mode. Okay, whether you should be buying or whether you should be selling. So first thing first is the mode. Okay, and it's indicated by the color. This color of the candlesticks coincide with the accumulation of momentum, which is this indicator over here. If it's above 0, like in this case, it'll be blue in color, and when it drops below 0, it'll be red in color. So again, this helps you to indicate the mode. Blue is on a buy mode and red is a sell mode. The next thing after the price, the next thing we look at is the arrows. Okay, we have here green arrows and red arrows. The green arrows are indication of the point, the exact point where to buy. Okay, later I'll show you how to accumulate a position using the arrows, and the red arrows is indication to sell short. Okay, again I will show you how to look at it in just a while. The next thing we want to take a look is the trend impulse factor. Okay, the trend impulse factor or the TIF will actually help you to indicate whether the arrows are strong or not. So example, in this case we have an arrow on this day which indicate a buy. Okay, the candlestick is blue, which indicate a buy, and also the TIF, the trend impulse factor, is above 0. So indicate that this arrow is a strong impulse. Okay, as compared to the arrow before that. Okay, there's a green arrow, however there is no trend impulse. The trend impulse is red in color, indicating that the impulse is not strong. So the idea is actually to accumulate position when your impulse is strong, okay, and to buy and add position. So example, in this case, you will have bought your first stock here, first position here, and you will be able to ride it through until this point when the candlestick turn red. So as and when the candlestick turn red, that will be the time when you can lock in your profits. So you buy at this position and you sell in this position. Okay, so what if there is multiple signals? Example, in this case there are a few other signals here, here, here. Okay, however the arrows are still, the trend impulse is not above 0. This indicates that the impulse is not really that strong. What you can do is you can accumulate smaller position. Later I'll share with you how to actually look at how to accumulate this position. So let's look at this stock again recently here in this part. So there is an arrow here again to buy, okay, and there's also a trend impulse which indicate a strong signal to buy. So first thing first, you will initiate a first position. You consider maybe about 50% of your original position. Let's look at another stock. Let's take a look at Ezion. Okay, so this is a stock of Ezion. So we can see over here right now, Ezion is a arrow to sell. Okay, an arrow to sell to as it comes down. Okay, previously there were arrows to buy in this part. Again, you want to take a look at the trend impulse to indicate whether it's a strong or weak impulse. Next, let's take a look at biosensor. So biosensor is a down stock. Okay, you can see from here the arrow appeared here, and there is a impulse factor indicating that the arrow is the downtrend is strong. You initiate a short position down this way. On the other side, when the stock is going up this way, same thing, you will accumulate your position as the stock goes up. Okay, so the idea, first thing first, is when to buy. The when to buy, you will use the indicator, the arrows, to determine when to buy. Number one, you look at the arrows. Number two, you look at the trend impulse. If it's a trend impulse is above 0, which is blue in color, then you can initiate a position. Next, you want to take a look at the price again. You'll notice that there is a dotted black line and a dotted red line. Okay, the dotted black line indicates the resistance, and the dotted red line indicates support. So as you accumulate position along the way, you will use the support as a trailing stop. So example, in this case, the stock goes up and drops below the support, you may consider to take profit. On the other hand, if you decided not to sell when it closed below the support, you can also close your position or take profit when it candlesticks turn red. The exact point to buy or sell, let me show it to you right now. So let's say example, on this day, you have an arrow and you have a trend impulse that's above 0. So you will know it only end of day. On the very next day, you will mark the high of the previous day candle. So example, this is 435, you buy at 44. If the candle turns down or the price turns down, you will not buy. Okay, but rather you will set the trigger to this day's high, which is round 43. So you set the high at 43, the one bit above the high will be 435. So if the next day it goes above 435, you buy. However, the next day it didn't go above 435. It went even lower to 42, and the high was 41. So you will do the same thing again. You will buy above 41, which is 415. The next day it didn't go above 415, it remains at below 415, and the high was 41, so it was not triggered. Then you do the same thing again. The next day it went above the high at 41 half, you initiate a buy position. Okay, so this is how you buy. As for sell, you do the same thing. Say example, you have arrow, you have a candle here to sell. You only sell one bit after this candle. So if the next day is not below this candle, you will not sell. You only sell the day after, which is below the prior day candle. Okay, so this is how you sell. Take note, to buy is the arrow. To sell, you just need the candlestick turn red to sell, or a break below support to sell. You do not need a red arrow to sell. The red arrow is actually for you to short, to actually go short. Next is what to buy. Okay, now that you know when to buy, how do you know what to buy? So what we do is we have a powerful scanner. This scanner uses comparative scan to look for the strongest stock in the whole stock market. I just did a scan just now on the 8th of November, and these are the stock that appeared on the list. Okay, so it's ranked according to the day, based on the day, strongest to the weakest. You can click here and do the reverse. So the strongest stock for the day is Hanko, so 800 Super, Suntec REIT. So these are the strongest stocks, okay, which also has arrow to buy. And the weak stocks are Cambridge and OKH Global. So these are the weak stocks to sell. NOL, if it's not highlighted in red because there is no sell signal, and CWT, there is no buy signal, but it's on a comparative strong stock. So let's take a look at these few stocks. Hanko 800 Super, Suntec REIT for buying, and Cambridge OKH for selling. So let's look at first thing first is Suntec REIT. Okay, let's look at Suntec REIT. This is a buy signal, and the arrow appeared on this day. So the idea is to buy above the high. Take note that this is a new signal over here, and you will buy above the high of this candle, okay, which is now at 895. It does not mean that the next day you buy immediately. You wait for it to break above the candle. If it doesn't, then you wait until it breaks the prior candle. Okay, so this is the first signal for Suntec REIT. Take note that the previous two arrows, there isn't any trend impulse factor. Only this recent arrow, there is a trend impulse factor, which is on the 8th of November. What we can see over here too is from here all the way up to here, there isn't any trend impulse factor, or very little trend impulse factor. What does it mean is the trend isn't very clear. Until yesterday, it was a very strong impulse. Okay, it's a very strong impulse, and telling you that you can initiate your first long position. Let me go through just another one for long. CWT, even though on the comparative scan it appeared, but it's still not a buy signal. What it means that over the last few days it has rallied, but still not a buy signal. 800 Super. 800 Super is another stock that had a buy signal recently, and it had it today also too. Okay, so the previous arrow was around here. If you were to use trailing stop, you will be stop out here at around 875, 87. You'll be cleared out position, and you have initiate another position recently or tomorrow. Okay, another buy position over here. Most of the time, most people are better off just to wait for the candlestick to turn red, which is to sell. Okay, you don't need to actually use the break support to sell. Now let's take a look at shorting. How to short. So this is Cambridge. Okay, this is a new arrow. Okay, with a trend impulse factor. Previous rate, there isn't any trend impulse factor. So we may take a look at this stock, Cambridge, for shorting. OKH, there's a trend impulse factor, not a very clear trend. Okay, so we may not even take this stock. One thing to take note is if a stock over a period of 2 weeks move in a very tiny range, you may not even want to take that stock as a buy or sell signal. Okay, so this will actually help you to look at what are the strongest stock and the weakest stocks to sell based on the comparative scan, the the stock results we have seen just now, 800 Super, Suntec REIT. These are the stocks that we want to look at to buy. The sell stocks are like Cambridge, OKH are the stocks to sell. Okay. Next is how much to do it, how much to buy or sell. Let's say example, we take one more, United Environment Tech. Just as example. And let's say we move backwards in time to here. How much to buy? So on each arrow, we will accumulate position. Like example, in this case, this arrow has no trend impulse, so maybe we will not even initiate a position. When the first arrow appear with trend impulse, we will maybe do a 50% of the intended size. So let's say example for United Environment Tech, we want to do 50 lots. So the first time we will buy 25 lots. The second time, when the second arrow appear, we will buy maybe around 30% of the intended size. And the third time, when the arrow appear, we will add on another 20%. So 50%, 30%, 20%. By the time you have your third or fourth arrow, you will have accumulated position until break support or until candlestick turn rate, which is the indication to sell. So this system will teach you or help you to guide you when to buy or sell stocks based on the arrows, what to buy based on comparative scan, and also how much to buy based on adding a pyramid or adding slowly into a correct position. Okay, so I hope that this tool will be useful to you, and I hope that you use it, and we will talk shortly.